What is up, guys, and welcome to my very first countdown. I'm your host Mike of TheDonnerGman, and for my very first countdown we are going to be talking about graphics cards. Now you are considering to finally get into PC gaming or wanting to finally upgrade your system, but you don't know what GPU to buy or upgrade, then this list is for you. Now this list is compiled of the following categories: best for esports and budget gamers, good for 1080p, best at 1080p and good for 1440p, best at 1440p and good for 4K, and last but not least, best at 4K. So those are the 5 categories that we are going to be talking about, and without further ado, let's start with the first category. So the first category is best for esports and budget gamers. Now, if you're just starting off with PC gaming and you don't have a large budget to get the top of the end hardware, or you just want to play games like Overwatch, Counter-Strike, Dota, League of Legends, then the following 3 GPUs are the perfect fit for you. Let's start off with AMD here. I would recommend the RX 460. The RX 460 is now available for less than $100. At that price, it makes for a great entry for not only esports gamers, but also for new gamers on a budget and that want to get their first experience into PC gaming. Now, if you would rather go with Team Green NVIDIA, then there is the GTX 1050, also available for under $100. 1050 with 2GB of VRAM, whereas the RX 460 comes with 2 or 4GB VRAM. Both the 1050 and RX 460 are great at playing games like Overwatch, Dota, League of Legends, Counter-Strike at medium to high settings at 1080p with over 60 frames per second. And if you want to play more demanding games like The Witcher 3 Battlefield 1 at medium settings between 30 and 60 FPS, no problem. So then now it's time for our second category, and that is good for 1080p. Now you are looking into getting into PC gaming for the first time, or finally thinking about upgrading your system, and you want to play games at least 1080p high settings and get better performance than the PS4 and Xbox One can offer you, then the RX 470 or 570 from Team Red or the 1050 Ti from Team Green are the perfect fit for you. Now let's talk about the 470 and 570 first. You can get both the 470 and 570 for about $180. The 570 is just a minor improvement to the 470. It is a slightly higher clocked 470 and also has a lower power consumption. It is basically a overclocked 470, so you will be good no matter what route you decide to go. And now let's look at the 1050 Ti. While not as powerful as the 470 or 570, you will still get a great gaming experience for under $150. All 3 GPUs are great for 1080p, medium to high settings, 60 frames per second gaming. Now if you don't care about the brand and just want to get the best GPU for your budget, then I would recommend you go with Team Red and the 470 or 570 for just about $40 more than you will get a GPU. Then I would recommend you go with Team Red and the 470 or 570. For just about $40 more than the 1050 Ti, you will get a GPU that can almost compete with the next GPU on this list. Now our next category is probably the best for price to performance category, and that is best for 1080p and good at 1440p. Now if you want the very best in 1080p gaming and maybe you want to try 1440p gaming, then the 1060 with 6GB of VRAM or the 480 or 580 are the best GPUs for you. Now just like the 570, the 580 is an overclocked 480, giving you maybe 3 to 5% better performance. Now all 3 GPUs, the 480, 580 and the 1060, come in at around $250 to $280. They mostly perform at the same level, with sometimes AMD taking the lead in DX12 and Vulkan games, while the 1060 mostly outperforms AMD and DX11 games. While most games still use DX11, the rise in DX12 and Vulkan-based games means you can't go wrong with AMD to somewhat future-proof your system. But as of now, all 3 GPUs are great to recommend, and you will not regret going with AMD or NVIDIA. So then before we get to our very last category, let's talk about the best graphics card you can buy for the best 1440p and good at 4K gaming experience. At the time of me making this list, there are only 2 GPUs on the market that you can buy when you are planning to game at 1440p or even 4K. That is the GTX 1070 for 1440p high to max settings and 4K at high settings, or the GTX 1080 for 1440p max settings and 4K for high to very high settings. Now the 1070 you will be able to get for under $400 and the GTX 1080 for about $500. So depending on your budget and you don't care about 4K and you just want the best price for performance, then the 1070 is the best card for you. You will be able to play almost every game at 1440p close to max settings over 60 FPS and max settings at 1080p. But if you want 1440p max settings, 60 FPS and 4K high settings and you have a budget of about $500 for a GPU, then buy the 1080. It is a great card, and with the price cut you are barely paying a lot more than for a 1070. So last but not least, we have finally come to our last category, that is the best graphics card you can buy for 4K gaming. So up until a few months ago, at the time of me making this list, the Titan X was the top of the line, but it also cost you $1,200. But now I can only recommend the 1080 Ti, priced at $699 for the Founders Edition, and at that price it is the best card for the very best gaming experience for playable 4K frame rates and maxed out quality settings from a single GPU solution. Now, as you probably know, Nvidia also upgraded the Titan X. It is a few percent better than the 1080 Ti now, but it still costs $1,200, so only if you have money shitting out of your ass, I would recommend the Titan X. For everybody else, 1080 Ti is the best price to performance gaming GPU you can get for 4K gaming. It wipes out almost every game at 1440p and you can get a lot of games at 4K for 60 frames per second at max settings, and if not at max settings, then at high or very high settings. So if you have $700 to spend on a GPU, there's no other way to go than with the 1080 Ti, at least for now. So guys, that was my list for the best graphics cards you can buy as of May 2017. Now please take in consideration that Vega has not been released yet, so I could not put any Vega GPUs in this list. But if you like, I can revisit this list once Vega is on the market and we have more information about performance and price and not only rumors. So until then, these are the GPUs I would recommend. Anyway, if you like this video, don't forget to smack that like button. And if you don't want to miss out on any of my future videos, don't forget to smack that subscribe button. I upload almost on a daily basis walkthroughs, unboxings, commentaries, countdown lists like this one, and a lot more, so don't forget to smack that subscribe button. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Don't forget to like, favorite, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Peace.